Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's just jump into SUI. So the whole crypto market is not looking good. So let's just talk about what we have said 2 days ago. So we have said this might be here a bear flag or a rising wedge, but we broke it even here to the upside. This was also unexpected to me, so the push which we got up to $3.81, this was expected. We have communicated this on YouTube. This push right here invalidated our bearish chart patterns. So I can delete all of them actually. The targets are not active anymore. So this one too, and this one too. So what do I think now? If we now zoom out, what you might see is an head and shoulders formatation. And we already broke it to the downside. The thing now is that I think we are going to get into the fair value gaps, which we have here. So those are the targets. And from here, sell off. That's what I actually think. We already saw some bearishness. So basically, this breakout here with its retest was already the confirmation in my opinion. Just with the chance that we can go up into the fair value gap. And now we can sell off. In my opinion, we have to look into the RSI. So the RSI was oversold. And yes, it also looks like that we are just going to get a cooldown in the RSI. To form a bullish divergence, like I have said in the Bitcoin update, we have to get a higher low in the RSI. That would mean a lower low in the chart. If we now look into the bearish targets, so the bearish targets are actually the box between $3.30 to $3.35. There we have targets of an old H pattern. I can also adjust the target now. I have to. Like this. Then it's perfectly $3.35. And then from the head and shoulders formatation, I took the least bearish target, which was the right shoulder. Put it to the breakout point. Now we have to put it to the retest point. I can also take the length of the bigger shoulder. Put it then, if we get higher prices, also to the top, and the target is also going to be that purple box. So basically what I think is we have that purple box. This is going to be the target. Afterwards I expect a push. We also have in bright blue a falling wedge. So I would say if we break the falling wedge to the upside, here's the price mark of currently $3.79, but over the time this target is going to move more to the downside. If we break it to the upside, then I would say we invalidate the bearish target and are on our way before we get into that purple area. Then this was here our low. As long as we don't break it to the upside, we can also break it to the downside. So basically here, that would mean we get into the purple box and we invalidated our first bullish chart pattern. So basically everything is open at the moment. SUI looks still short to me, and whatever we get up to the fair value gaps is just going to get a retest of resistance. If we now look over Avalanche, then we have also said here is a bear flag. We broke it to the upside. This was also on our chart that we have two scenarios: breaking the $23.50 to the downside, or breaking the bear flag to the upside and get into the $25 to $25.17. But what we should see to the upside should just be corrective. So we went into that area and we sold off. I can also take the bear flag out of the chart. It got invalidated. So what do I think now? The thing is, this red trend line, it didn't break perfectly to the downside, but it broke. So basically we are showing weakness. What we have also formed is a rectangle. This rectangle can play out in both directions like it usually does. So basically, the more important part is in which direction are we going to break it to the upside or to the downside. So if we break it to the downside, which is currently the price mark of right here, $23.37, then the target is going to be down below here at $21, but I would say $22 to $21.30 is going to get the target. If we get there, like this, then I think that we can see the $28, and if we see the $28, we probably build up more chart patterns which direct us into far higher prices. So one less pullback before the rocket can start. On the smaller time frame, I don't want to go into the 50 minutes time frame, but here we can see a double bottom pattern. So if we break the white trend line at $24.18 to the upside, here's the price mark, then we have the good chance filling the fair value gap up to $24.63. Do I want to trade it as a momentum trader? Okay, possible. Do I want maybe to get into short positions there? Can also work. So everything can work there. I would just say, if I want to have a short position, then I have to keep in mind the short scenario is going to get invalidated once we break the $25.67 to the upside. So if I really want to go into a trade right here, then I have to keep in mind I can still lose up to 5% until we invalidate that target. If we now look over HBAR, then we can say, okay, HBAR has one bearish, one bullish chart pattern. The bearish chart pattern would be this head and shoulders formatation. So if we break it to the downside, which is currently the price mark of $23.8, then the target should not be 23 cents anymore. I think it's going to be the area between 22.3 cents to 20.2 cents, where we have a huge fair value gap. I would also say we have here some resistance. We broke it to the upside as it seems. So we have some potential. This potential is not going to be big in my opinion. Here's just a fair value gap. I think we are just going for the fair value gap. Let me do the circle perfect. 25 cents possible. But if we look at the neckline of the head and shoulders formatation, and we just put here another trend line, then this can also be a falling wedge. So I would say we invalidate the bearish chart patterns, all of them, once we break the 25.46 cents to the upside. Then I don't take the maximum spread, I took the mid-range target of that falling wedge, we put it to the breakout point, target 28.3 cents, but here's resistance at 27.6 cents. This is going to get interesting in my opinion. If we now look over Dogecoin, then we have already said that Dogecoin has the most potential for a maximum profitable trade. Why that? Because we had our bear flag, and this bear flag even touched the upper part here again. We sold off 22.9 cents. We broke it to the downside. The bear flag already got activated. I need to adjust the target. So target is still 18.8 cents. In my opinion, this here can be a double bottom pattern. So if we break it to the upside, then we would just fill the fair value gaps in my opinion, which are still ongoing, and from here sell off. If I'm not in a Dogecoin trade, then I would take one in that fair value gap, with the stop loss over the top here. And once we break the 21.8 cents to the downside, then I would increase my position size, set my stop loss to break even, and I would wait for the next breakout, which is that purple trend line. Current price target is the 21.1 cents, but over the time, this target is going to move. So basically, once this also breaks to the downside, then I think 18.8 cents are going to get incoming. And then we have to see, because I have drew it here a few times, then I think nice pushes, nice gains to the upside can be made, and 18.8 cents is going to get very interesting for looking for long positions. So with that said, we see each other in the Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.